Hey film fans, welcome to my list of 5 alien themed movies worth watching. Before I begin, I just want to say that I left out the films from the Alien franchise and Signs because the list would become very predictable. Also, I left out an awesome movie called Splinter because I talked about it in my list of top 10 horror movies you may not have heard of. Also, if you like this list, please comment, subscribe and like the video, I'd really appreciate it. Let's get into it. In 5th place we have a film from 1985 called Life Force. Life Force was directed by Tobe Hooper, who also directed The Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Poltergeist. Life Force also features a young Patrick Stewart who had his first on-screen kiss with Steve Railsback. The story of Life Force centres around a space shuttle crew who discovers 3 humanoid-looking creatures while on a mission. They return to Earth with these creatures only to discover that they are in fact space vampires. And what do these space vampires feed on? Human life force. The reason I enjoy this movie is because it's a low-budget, over-the-top cheese fest with plenty of nudity and 80s action. The practical effects when the space vampires steal the human's life force is especially fun to watch, and this movie earns points on concept alone. If you want to see Independence Day minus the big budget, this is worth watching. In 4th place we have a film from 2009 called The Fourth Kind. This film is directed by Olutound Osuname and also stars Mila Djokovic. This film is framed as a dramatisation of true events which occurred in a small Alaskan town in the year 2000. This small town has experienced an extraordinary amount of unexplained disappearances in the last 40 years, and a federal cover-up is suspected. The film opens with actress Mila Djokovic explaining that what the viewer is about to see is a dramatisation of true events. She also informs the viewer that she will be portraying the real-life Dr. Abigail Tyler, and that every scene in this film is supported by archived footage. This gives the viewer the feeling that they were watching a documentary rather than a film. The film contains a combination of acted scenes and archive footage, and while this could have been distracting, the director masterfully implements the two so that it feels natural. Rather than get pulled out of the experience, the viewer is more absorbed than ever. This manages to take the trope of found footage to a whole new level, as your brain starts to blur the lines between what is a dramatisation and what is reality. This results in a tense movie that'll have you on the edge of your seat, and the final scenes of this movie are some of the creepiest I've seen in an alien movie. In 3rd place we have a film from 2012 called Grabbers. Grabbers is an Irish comedy directed by John Wright and starring Richard Coyle and Ruth Bradley. I was actually lucky enough to get to go to the premiere of this movie, and I got to listen to a talk from the director on the making of the movie, as well as meet some of the actors and actresses, and meet a real life grabber, not to be confused with a real life groper. What I like about this movie is that you can really feel the heart and the love that went into making it. The film has a uniquely Irish humour which I think translates well to audiences across the world, because I've heard a lot of people in Australia, England and America say how much they love this movie. The movie also utilises a combination of practical effects and CGI which blend naturally. The movie itself is ridiculous and just a really fun time. In 2nd place we have a film from 2009 called Pandorium. Pandorium is directed by Christian Alvar and stars Dennis Quaid, Cam Gigante, Angie Trav and a pre-Walking Dead Norman Reedus. The story is very mysterious and centres on 2 people who wake up from hypersleep on a ship. They have no idea of their identities or their mission, and while this may sound very familiar, the story and how the story is told contains so many unique elements that you will be on the edge of your seat and kept guessing. What stands out to me about Pandorium is how dark the film is, and I'm not just talking about the story, I'm talking about the lighting. The film's very reminiscent of The Descent, and the director uses clever techniques with lighting and colour to signify key character traits. Also, this movie contains aliens or it wouldn't be on this list, and the design of the aliens in this film are extremely scary. The aliens are actually depicted by contortionists in makeup, and very little CGI was used. It was mostly practical effects. If you're a fan of Event Horizon or Alien, I really recommend checking out Pandorium. In 1st place we have a film from 2013 called Dark Skies. Dark Skies is directed by Scott Stewart and stars Kerry Russell. It also features a cameo from J.K. Simmons, which was really entertaining. The story centres around the Barrett family, who are living a peaceful suburban life, when suddenly their peaceful life is interrupted by a series of escalating disturbing events. They soon get the feeling that someone or something is after them. The reason I gave Dark Skies my #1 spot is because of how relatable this film feels. A lot of alien films tend to take place in large-scale invasions or isolated in space, but this takes place in a regular home. I also loved how the film feels like a paranormal haunting movie rather than an alien movie. Additionally, the sound design in this movie is incredible and makes for some genuinely creepy atmospheric moments. And what really brings it all home is seeing J.K. Simmons just having a great time on screen. I really recommend Dark Skies if you're into any kind of paranormal movie or if you love alien movies. Okay, so that was my list. I really appreciate you taking the time to listen to it. And if you enjoyed the list, could you please share it, like, comment and subscribe on the video? I would really appreciate it. Also, I'm going to leave a link to some of my other lists that I've made. This is really the direction I'd like to take my channel because I really enjoy these lists because they're almost like mini reviews. So yeah, if you want to see more, please stay tuned and thank you so much for watching. See ya! Bye!